I collect movie posters. I love horror movies, of course, and my favorite type are sort of the 50s monster posters with kind of a strong glamour element, like the She Creature here, where you got the gal in her negligee. My favorite movie poster is this one right here. This is my favorite movie poster in my collection. I got that up in Chicago about 15 years ago. I think I paid about $800 for it at the time, but money well spent. I just love that poster.
What is it that appeals to you?
It's her figure, and it's the fact that that like I say, it's the horror combined with the glamour, and that the way her eye is exposed, and the flying saucers, and the guy on fire. It's just crazy. I just love that poster. Blood of the Vampire is one of my favorites. Terror from the Year 5000. Boy, I got that. I must have got that close to 30 years ago at a comic book shop over on Graboy, and there was a box of movie posters under a table at this comic book shop about 30 years ago. And I started going through this box, and that was in there, and the Tingler was in there, a couple of others, and they were like $5 each. And that poster is probably worth $800 or $900. This is probably my most valuable poster. I got this about 25 years ago in a trade. I traded something I had $18 invested in for that poster, and I love that poster. Everybody wants that poster. That's the most valuable piece of Vincent Price paper. There's a coffee poster that Pam Grier signed. Here's a Reanimator poster that Barbara Crampton signed, and Stuart Gordon was there. He signed both of those signs. So I got a few things I got to disclose to. These two are actually repro posters. I didn't have time to sit there and try to find originals. Well, another Roger Corman autograph, The Trip. That was the movie where Roger Corman dropped acid with Jack Nicholson and Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper.
That's the ultimate trip.
Yeah. And funny thing, Bruce Dern always played like the crazy druggy guy in those movies, but he never did drugs, and he never drank, and he was a health food freak and a jogger. But he always played like the crazy psycho druggy guy in the movies. When Dinosaurs Rule the Earth. This is my favorite movie to collect paper on, is When Dinosaurs Rule the Earth. That's a When Dinosaurs Rule the Earth door panel over there. And then there's another one of these door panels on the bathroom door where it says Fight Dinosaurs 3 Ways. These are all movie posters that are autographed. Every single one of these is autographed. Carol Speed. This one's autographed by Violet Beauregard and Mike TV. Roger Corman. Pam Grier. I met her a couple times. I met her at the Missouri Black Expo, and I interviewed her there. Dario Argento, are you familiar with his work? Yeah. I met him at a Fangoria convention in 1988.
You signed this and he signed it?
Yeah, Dario Argento signed that. He also signed the Cat o' Nine Tails one sheet. Tora Satana is in this. She signed that.
Yeah, I was surprised you had the Astra Zombies.
Oh, I love this. Yeah, I showed this in Super 8. Were you there? Is that the night you were there?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I got this in Super 8. Linda Blair, Joe Dante. Actually, the director of this one signed this as well. I think he's passed away. Tura. And Haji, who played Rosie in Faster Pussycat, signed it. And this Dennis Bush guy, who was the big muscle-bound guy. He signed it. Laurie Williams was supposed to be at this con, but she was a no-show. Linda Blair again. Barbara Steele, famous British actress who made a lot of really wonderful horror movies in Italy in the 60s. Herschel Gordon Lewis. Roger Corman signed this. Herschel Gordon Lewis signed this is the original 2000 Maniacs. Original Blood Feast poster signed by Herschel Gordon Lewis. Taste of Blood. He signed a bunch of stuff. He was signing for free last time I met him. Color Me Blood Red. This is kind of cool. Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. But it's signed by Haruo Nakajima, who wore the Godzilla suit starting in 1954 in the very first Godzilla movie. He wore the Godzilla suit. And it's also signed by Kenshiro Satsumuna, who wore the Smog Monster suit. There's a convention in Chicago called G-Con, or G-Fest, or something.
Yeah.
It's a Godzilla convention. They have it every year. I went one year. But this guy was interesting. This old man who was a stuntman in the Japanese film industry in the mid-50s was tapped out to play Godzilla. And he was the guest of honor at this convention. Everybody's standing in line to meet him. He was just this old guy who didn't even speak English. Paul Schrader came to San Luis International Film Festival. Jess Franco, are you familiar with him? Mm-hmm. Spanish cult director, did like 250 movies, mostly horror movies. This is signed by Lynn Lowry.
That's a cool poster. The colors. on it.
Yeah, I like these Dayglow posters. You don't see them too often. I only made a few. Diane Thorne again, who starred in 4 of these Ilsa movies. Barbara Steele again. That's probably her most famous movie. It's definitely her showcase movie, Black Sunday.
Oh yeah.
More Diane Thorne, who's that woman with Hitler. I love the way she wrote peace. This one's kind of cool. It's signed by Carolyn Monroe, John Philip Law, who played Sinbad, and it's signed by Ray Harryhausen. John Philip Law has since passed away. Last House on the Left is one of my very, very favorite movies, and this one is signed by. You ever seen it?
I have not.
Okay. Did you see the remake?
No, I know of it. I've never
okay.
seen it.
Well, this one's signed by the 4 Killers. This was made in 1972, but this one was signed by all 4 guys who played the Killers, including David Hess, who has passed away. 2001, signed by Keira DeLay and Gary Lockwood, who were the 2 stars. Christina Lindberg is kind of a cult actress. She's Swedish, and she starred in this movie.
I have seen this movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. That was the first interview I ever did with We Were Movie Geeks. This is I Spit on Your Grave. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
It's a classic. But when it was originally released, it was called Day of the Woman, and it didn't do any business under that title. So Jerry Gross, who's the producer, bought it and reissued it as I Spit on Your Grave, and it was a big hit.
And they that's how they sold it again.
Yeah. And you can even tell, I mean, that woman there doesn't look anything like Camille Keaton. Ted V. Michaels, who directed Astro Zombies, also did 10 Violent Women. More William Smith. And Ted V. Michaels also did The Corpse Grinders. I love this poster.
Oh wow.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's a great poster. Signed by Ted V. Michaels. Chainsaw 2, signed by Savini and...
That's interesting, but I've never seen that poster before.
Oh, there's a different version of it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here's the more common version of the poster. Another Argento, Tenebrae. Star Crash, Carolina.
You have a Star Crash poster?
Yeah.
Wow.
You ever seen this movie?
I have seen it.
I love this movie. And
why do you like it?
Oh, it's got Carolyn Monroe for one thing. Interesting thing about it is she told me this. I asked her why this doesn't look anything like her, and she told me the story was that the artist was commissioned to do this painting, and they sent the artist an 8x10 of her because he hadn't seen the movie and he didn't know what she looked like, and they sent her a picture of the wrong actress. They sent her a picture of Kay Lenz, who was an actress who was sort of popular in the 70s. So Kay Lenz is on the Star Crash poster. This is actually a hand-sculpted figure of, they call her One Eye.
In a patch.
Yeah, she signed a patch for me.